Okay, welcome to your first Age 2 screencast. For the start, we're going to talk about the Great West Part 1, looking at really settling the West. And so look at this image in front of you right now. I want you to analyze it and pick out three things, any three things, no matter how basic or simple you might think they are. Pick out three things right now, write them down, and we'll discuss them later. All right, so first up, the Great Plains. And this is the area that a lot of people start settling after the Civil War. And it used to be called the Great American Desert, and it's really the grassland portion of the central North America. And looking at this, you can tell it's the states of northern Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming. These are the plain states. This area is huge in agriculture. Odds are most of the food you eat comes from this area. Two vocab words to talk about to get started are push and pull. And these are types of factors that get people to a certain area. A push factor is something that causes you to move out. You're being pushed out. But a pull factor is something that's going to draw you in there. And we'll talk about the difference, and you can see the difference in the reasoning. First up, pull factor number one is gold. The idea of gold and getting rich quick is a big pull factor for people to move out west. This happened before the Civil War with the gold rush in California, where we get the term 49ers. There was also a gold discovery in 1858 in Colorado. They discovered other minerals such as silver in Nevada in 1860. So this is a huge get-rich-quick idea, and that really draws people to an area in vast numbers. It pulls them. Pull factor number two is the availability of land. And we have two government-sponsored acts here that really increase settlement. First is the Homestead Act of 1862, which gave you 160 acres if you would live on it and cultivate it for 5 years. You had to be 21 years old and a citizen, or at least have filed your citizenship. And this big draw, it draws 400 to 6,000 families out west during this period. So it's a huge pull factor, the idea of basically free land if you just live there. And 160 acres, if you're not familiar, is a lot of land. Most houses in a neighborhood are on about a quarter to a half acre of land, so think about that. The other is the Morrill Land Grant Act, and this gave federal land to the states to help finance agricultural colleges, so Virginia Tech, for example, and later North Carolina, NC State, those came out of the Morrill Land Grant. That's why they're called land grant colleges. Here, you see a homestead certificate and a giant poster that would have been seen to try to increase people to go with land grants from the time period. Now, some people that went. One group is the Mormons, and this is a religious group. They're led by Brigham Young, and they're going to the modern-day Utah to escape religious persecution. You also have people called the Boomers and Sooners, and they settled in what's modern-day Oklahoma, which at the time was Indian Territory, and Indian Territory was land settled by Indians from the southeast, such as the Cherokee and Creek, who were moved through the Trail of Tears. So they were kicked out of one area, and now here they are getting kicked out of another area and pushed into an even smaller area. The third group are exodusters. These are Southern blacks who moved to escape lynching, discrimination, and violence in the post-Civil War South. So even during Reconstruction, especially after during Jim Crow, these people flee mainly to Kansas. Kansas is a huge destination, but they're leaving the Jim Crow South. A pull factor three is transportation. The key thing here is railroads. 1869, the Transcontinental Railroad is completed, so you can now travel from Pacific to Atlantic in several days versus taking months. Easily travel coast to coast. It connects the country, and if you look at the comparison, a covered wagon like on the Oregon Trail, would take about 15 miles a day in a good day, while a train is going to go 50 miles in an hour, so it's almost quadruple the time period. So what a train can do in an hour is what a wagon can do in a day. So it saves time and just makes it easier to get from point A to point B. Now some push factors. Now remember, this is where you're getting pushed out, maybe by even external things. One is the end of the Civil War, and these are the exodusers. Again, thousands of African Americans escape the South and head west to escape discrimination in the South. Another one is overpopulation, especially in the Northeast and Midwest. Cities like New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago are getting overcrowded, overpopulated. People move out west to get more land and space. So it's the end of the Civil War and overpopulation that are big push factors. Now, life out west, a lot of people have what's called a soddy house, and it's basically made from prairie soil. Very basic houses, and you can even still see these in like Oklahoma and Kansas today on the side of the road. Not many people live in them though. Now, a key idea that starts shaping our American idea is the Turner thesis. And here, Frederick Jackson Turner, he made the idea and the hypothesis that the frontier shaped American character. So to finish up, what I want you to do is I want you to basically say, do you agree or disagree with this thesis and why? So do you agree that the frontier shaped our American culture and character? Thank you for watching.